So is marketing getting harder? This is a really interesting question, but from the people I speak to and the experience, on an absolute level, yes, it's getting harder and that's for a number of different reasons. The reasons marketing is getting harder is because the way that customers use and experience the internet is changing, and there are a number of different factors all around us that are also impacting how they see information, how they view information, and how they make decisions, coupled with changes to the platforms and also different government regulations and changes that are meaning that the golden age of digital marketing feels like it's over, and now we're having to work harder than ever to get the attention of our potential customers, and we have to really make sure we're maximizing the impact that we get from them so that we're draining every single ounce of value out of the work that we're doing. So let's break down why marketing is getting harder. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is simply the changing user behavior. The information that's out there now means that customers have a plethora of information, and they're also accessing this information on an almost instant, constant basis, whether that be their social media, their searches, their use of large language models. They have so much information that it's practically impossible for them to make a decision straight away. So that means we're seeing multiple touch points. So whereas before you would run an ad, or you'd do some social media, or you'd have your SEO, you'd say, oh, well, I got that sale from a specific point. Now what we're seeing is they may go on your website, they may see your social media, and that could be 30 touch points before they actually end up taking that action and moving forward with you. That means that just the traditional metrics that marketers work by, that last touch, oh, well, that's the thing that got us the work, is not necessarily the most accurate and best way of thinking about how marketing works. Now we need to be thinking holistically about the whole piece and how we're reaching customers across that area and making ourselves unmissable so that when they're ready to buy, they come to us. This means we need to have a fully thought out marketing system which captures data, which talks to people and has a way of always coming back to them. The second part of this is, even though we know that customers are taking longer, it's also getting harder to track them. So starting with Apple and iOS 14.5, where they gave users the options to opt out of privacy and tracking, we're now finding that increasingly the tracking that used to work is no longer working. Now, I could give you a whole 10-minute video on kind of pixels and cookies and whether they're going to stay or whether they're going to go. And I think the prevailing sense at the moment is they're going to stay in some form, but they're becoming less and less reliable, which means we no longer can be sure, even if we know that where the last touch of a campaign was, that's not necessarily going to show in our data, which is going to make it really hard for us to make decisions about what's working and what's not. So when you combine that privacy with that user journey, the water really gets murky. So there's two main reasons why we have this problem. And then the next piece that we have is that when it comes to the channels, they're getting more complicated. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, we used to think, oh, well, we could just be on these channels, we can just post and our audience is going to see them. Well, unfortunately, that's not the case. While some content can still go viral and still be seen by lots of people, we're increasingly starting to see that what's happening is they're kind of taking that reach away and looking for you to pay for it, which means that it's getting harder and harder to reach our audience, particularly as those algorithms grow. Then if we throw in the impact of AI and how that's creating a load of slop and noise, that's making it harder for people to cut through, then reaching our audience with the right message is always going to be more complicated. So how do we solve this? Well, the simple way is we need to be across multiple different platforms, and we need to have a system that works across all of them.